Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do my pen as eyeshadows update. I am filming this a little bit ahead of time because we have a bank holiday here in the UK, and the way that everything falls, normally I would film over the weekend in time for the first of the month because I like to post these the first or second of the month. But my brother's coming up and I haven't seen him in over a year and I just don't want to be filming, so I'm going to be doing this a little bit earlier this month. So I'm losing out on a few days where I could be panning some of these shadows. However, I think it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. So this is my update. If that interests you, stay tuned. So this is the color story that I've been working on. I've got mostly all greens with a brown here and also a matte pink slash sort of reddish tone. It's been a little bit difficult to work through this month, I have to say, because green is not my favorite eyeshadow, even though I've got a lot of green eyeshadow in my collection, and I've realized that, and I know now not to buy any more greens or palettes with lots of greens because it is not working out for me too well. I'll get straight in. This is the Meant to Be palette from Colourpop, and it is this lovely shade here. This one I thought I was going to hit pan on. It's this middle one. It's called Mojito Mummy. I haven't hit pan, but you can see I've got such a dip, and I even like put on a little bit today. I thought today is the day I am going to hit pan. And as much as I push down on my little brush, I am not hitting pan, and I'm not going to force it. These pans are so much deeper than I thought they were going to be. So I really wasn't expecting to not hit pan. And I haven't hit pan, and I guess if I had waited to film this in maybe 3 days time, I might have hit pan. Who knows with this? But let me just tell you how many times I used it. I used it 9 times this month. Last month I used it 9 times as well, so I've been pretty consistent, and then the previous month I only used it 6 times. I've used it a total of 24 times, and my limit is 25 times, and then I roll out a shade if I don't hit pan. Now I'm in a little bit of a dilemma because I am so close to hitting pan, but I'm also one away from the limit of when I just roll it out because I'm getting sick of it. It's been in 3 videos so far now. I kind of feel like I just want to roll it out. I don't want to keep it in just to hit pan. I feel like, what is the point? I've been playing around with it so much and I'm happy with it. It is a nice shade. I wish the formula was a little bit nicer because I do find it a little flaky, but I do love the shade. I'm going to roll it out. I'm kind of sick of greens. It gives me a chance to roll it out. I've enjoyed it. I've been using it. It looks nice and used. I'm going to try something else. So that one is rolled out. Next one that I have here is from Primark. This is the neon palette, the green neon palette. And the shade that I pulled last month is this shade right here. They don't have shade names, but again, it is a green, and it's not really a shimmer. It's more of a satin. It's got a little bit of shine to it, but it's definitely, I don't know, I've used it like kind of like faded out on the lid. I've only used it 2 times this month, so I definitely need to get more use out of this. And the palette alone, it's just because I've had so many greens to work through and I was concentrating so much on the Mint to Be. I didn't really pair it with this one, surprisingly, although they look really nice together. I was just so sick of green looks. So I haven't really played around with this one, but now that the Mint to Be is out, I actually am excited to use this one a little bit more. I think I'll get much more use out of the whole palette in general, so I'm excited about that. I'm just going to keep it in. Only used it twice, so definitely need to use it more. The next one that I have is from my NARS Afterglow palette. This one I rolled in last time as well, and it is the Gaia Quill. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's this shade right here. Again, this is more of it's a shimmer, but it's more like of a satin. It's not like a true shimmer in my opinion. It's here, it's lovely. I actually have it on the lids today, but then I put a bunch of other stuff, so you probably can't see it too well. It is really, really beautiful, but I only used it, how many times? I used it 6 times this month, so I definitely need to get more use out of it. I just didn't want to pair it with the green, and I think I did one new tone look, but I started doing a Shop My Stash this month with makeup, and I did 2 updates, and I did pull some palettes for that, so I've been a little bit overwhelmed with what eyeshadow to use, And because none of those have green in them, I've been dipping it more into my Shop My Stash palettes than I have my eyeshadow palettes in the Pandas eyeshadows. So yeah, I've been failing quite a bit this month. But yeah, definitely going to keep it in. I really like it and I'm happy to carry on using that one. The next one is from my Revolution palette from the Chilled, and it is this one right here. You can see a visible dip, but I only used it twice this month. I'm kind of all greened out. I don't know what to do. So it is this shade right here, like this sort of grungy green, not the top one, this one down here. And it's a really lovely shimmer, and actually I paired it nicely with the Mojito Mami in the Mint to Be palette, and I really liked that look. But I didn't want to just replicate that look over and over again, and I've completely like lost interest in this shade altogether this month. So I think what I'm gonna do, because I like this palette and I played around with it quite a lot, I know which shades I like, I think I'm gonna roll it out. I know that's kind of cheating, but at the same time I don't want to keep all of these green shades because I've seen how much I've failed this month, and I just don't think it's good for me in terms of the project. It's not inspiring to me at all. So I'm going to roll this one out too, but just simply because I put a lot of use into it. So, you know, I have enjoyed it, but not this month. I enjoyed it, let's see, 8 times last month, and yeah, only twice this month. So that's only 10 times in total, but I have a visible dip and I do really like this palette. It's like one of my favorite palettes. So it's not like I haven't used this palette. I just don't want to keep using this shade. So I think I'm going to roll this one out, unfortunately, as well. Please don't judge me too much on that. I just feel like I'm doing the best that I can. The next one I have is from the Club Nebula palette, and this one is the Queen of Blades, and it is another green. So it is this darker, deeper green here. This one I only used twice again this month. I used it 5 times last month, and I forced myself to use it 5 times last month. I've only used it twice this month. I don't even know if I have any looks to show you when I used it because I just wasn't enjoying it. Sadly, this one I'm going to roll out as well. I just can't keep all of these greens in here. And a lot of you were saying in my last video, just roll it out if you're not going to use it. And I don't want to use it as a liner. I know that some comments were like, use it as a liner maybe, and that's a really great idea. But I also I don't feel like doing liner at the moment. So I'm going to roll that one out as well. The next one that I've got is from the Yasmin palette from My Alley Beauty. And it is this lovely shade here called Trunk. And it is this lovely color. This one I'm going to keep in. This one I've used 15 times in total since I rolled it in. So I am going to keep it in one more time just to get as much use as I can. I also really like this palette for spring. I actually have this shade on my lid and I just really enjoy dipping into this and having an excuse to dip into it. So unlike the other like green shades that I've just rolled out, this one I am still enjoying, and I want to give myself a chance to use it more because I've paired this so many times with the green and I just don't want to keep doing that. And if I don't pair it with the green, then I'm just literally not touching the green at all. So that's the only way I've been able to keep some of those greens in as long as I have. And now that I'm rolling them out, I want to keep this in. I want to get to the like 25 uses. I think I could definitely do that with this one, and I'm not sick of it. So I'm going to keep this one in for sure. All right, so that's 3 shades now that I'm keeping. And so I'm going to roll in 2 more shades because I do like to have 5 shades. I know this last month I've had 6 shades, but I rolled 1 extra shade thinking that I was going to hit Pan and the Mojito Mami shade in the Mint to Be palette, and I didn't. So that's why I had 6 shades this month. And it just seemed a little bit too much. It was too overwhelming for me. So I'm going to go back down to 5 shades. So I'm only going to pull 2 more shades out of my collection. I haven't added any more palettes to my collection this last month. So I still have 335 shades to pull from. Okay, so I've got 1 out of 335. So let's start. 192. And 282. So let me see what those are and then I will be right back. Okay, so 192 was pulled from my Book of Magic and it is the Enchanted shade, which is right here. It is a lovely like baby pink. It's funny because this one has actually been pulled from the random app before, but I chose not to do it because it's too similar to a color that I already had. But I'm definitely going to be using this. It is a matte. Let me just show you what that looks like. I don't know if you can see that, but it is quite a pastel pink. So that should be nice. The second shade that was pulled was actually from the Club Nebula as well. And it is the Rock Hopper shade right here, which is actually a shade I've never used. It's like a sort of a cool tone mauve shade. So this one I'm definitely going to keep because, oh yeah, look at that. That's quite pretty. So let me just put all of the shades together to give you an overall look of my new color story. So this is my new color story right now. It's definitely different to this one. I'm not very good at swatching, but I really like the fact that I've got a pop of green now as opposed to like a whole color story of green. And I really like the cool tone of a rock hopper. I think that's a really good addition. So I've got like warm tone and cool tone, which is kind of interesting. I think the pinks, like these two and this one, are going to work really nicely together. And I'm sure I will pair the green with rock hopper with some looks as well. So I'm excited about my new color story, so much more excited than like my last color story. I feel like for some people this is like a dream if you really like greens and you know you have a lot of inspiration pulling from just green colors. But I've realized I do not, and it's just not a look that I really enjoy on my lids. I like green on my lids, but I just not all the time. So I'm really happy that I just took the decision to roll out all the shades that I did, as much as it is maybe cheating, and also as close as I was to hitting pan on Mojito Mami. That kind of like is a struggle to me, but I like the shades so much. I'm sure I'll dip in eventually and hit the pan at some point. So it's not like all that effort has gone to waste because I will obviously hit pan. I just won't hit pan in this project probably unless I roll it in again. So yeah, thank you so much. That's kind of all my update today. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Bye!